I just wanted to give you guys a real quick overview on what the inside of the course module shell is going to look like. So for the summer semester, I've broken it up into 8 modules. All right, so we have 8 modules, one for each week of the course. So our course starts the second week of June, and it's going to end the last week of July. And so essentially, you have assignment, like your modules close out every Friday from that week in start of June until the last Thursday of class, because the semester actually ends on Thursday, the 30th. And you need to have all of your work, including your final exam, turned in on July 30th by 11:59 p.m. So make sure you do that. So let's check out Module 1 and see what it looks like inside of here. Um, and make sure that you guys know exactly what you're doing when you're inside of your module, okay? So inside of each of the modules, I've actually organized them inside of the order in which you should do the module, okay? So the first thing that you should always do is check out your to-do list, all right? This is a little bit different than your syllabus because in some instances I have much more information and it's more in depth. And so I make sure you read that first, always, all right? Then what you're going to do is you're going to do your lectures and your readings. It doesn't really necessarily matter what order you do your lectures and your readings in. I don't mind if you do your readings first and then your lectures, or your lectures and then your readings. It doesn't really matter. They should both kind of build upon each other. Then after you have watched your lecture videos, all right, because each of these is a folder with a audio and then a link to a Prezi that is going to kind of like give you an overview of that period. All right. And some of these have actually included maps as well for you guys to reference if you need to, but you don't have to unless you feel like you need that extra information. But then what you're going to do is you're going to go into your assignments tab. And in this first week, I've given you like really, really thorough directions on exactly how to fill out your assignments, when they're due, what you're doing. All right. So while you're doing your readings, I want you guys to go in here and pull up your reading worksheets for period 1. And it's going to be like for period 1, period 2, period 3. All right. And you're going to fill these out as you are doing your readings. All right. So, or like right when you finish that module. I would not suggest doing all the readings and then filling out the reading worksheets. I would do it as you do each module. So when you pull up the worksheets, this is what they look like. This is what they look like. So essentially they are, let me pull up. So essentially they are a just a Word document with some key terms that you're going to want to find the definitions for and from your glossary. There's going to be a table in which you're going to chart similarities, differences, significant points of comparison. Each one is going to be different. And at the end of that worksheet, you're going to have a couple questions. So you need to fill these out and submit them. Every single one of these worksheets is worth 10 points, so make sure that you're turning those in for all of your points. And you're going to be turning in 4 of those this first week, all right? So this is a time-consuming endeavor, so make sure you are actually doing it, okay? There's your reading worksheets, so make sure you submit those. Make sure that when you submit things that you are actually submitting your reading worksheet 1, 2, 3, and 4 all at the same time, that you're not finishing 1 and then submitting it, finishing 2, submitting it, finishing 3 and submitting it, finishing 4 and submitting it, because it will override them sometimes, and I will only get 1 of your worksheets, all right? And I don't take late work, so make sure you're clicking upload and you're uploading 1, 2, 3, and 4 all in the same upload period, all right? So after you do your readings, you're going to then take your quiz, all right? The quizzes have 15 questions. They're all multiple choice. You have 4 options. Each question is worth 2 points, so it's worth a total of 30 points, and you have 30 minutes to finish each and every single one of the quizzes, okay? So from the time that you open the quiz until the time that 30 minutes is up, you can be in there working, all right? But 30 minutes goes by really quick and you're not going to have enough time to like look up the answers to all of the questions, okay? They are open book, but I would highly, highly, highly suggest that you do the readings before you take the quiz, because you will not be able to pass the quiz if you don't do your readings first, right? So then you do your quiz, you click submit, you only get 1 attempt, so make sure that you don't hit submit until you're ready, okay? Or start it until you're ready. After you do your reading worksheets, your quiz, I would then suggest you then go onto the discussion board and fill out your discussion board post, okay? And so how to do that is you're actually not going to do that here because there's no way for me to link the discussion board to here. But here I have a rubric for you to see exactly how I grade your discussion boards. And what you're going to do is you're going to go up here into your navigation pane and you're going to click inside of the main course. You can click discussion board and you will see that it is set up. In the first week, you're actually going to do two, all right? You're going to do an self-introduction discussion, and then you're also going to do module 1 discussion board. And what I've done is I've picked out a subject that's directly from the textbook, so you should have plenty of evidence to back up what you're saying. And you get to pick one of 3 questions and respond to that, and then I want you to respond to at least 3 of your peers, okay? So that's what I want you guys to be doing for that, okay? So after you finish your discussion board, make sure you're checking back and responding to people, because 5 out of the 20 total points for discussions goes towards your ability to communicate with your peers about things that they've said to you and that you've said to them, and that you're actually having a real conversation. All right. Then the very last thing that I suggest you do inside of each of your modules is your lab worksheets. All right. So inside of here, I have 5 documents inside of each and every one of your lab media worksheet things, okay? These bottom 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, are primary sources, okay? So this is an image of smallpox inside the New World, Montezuma, Columbus's discovery of America, the French landing in the New World. Let's pull up one, okay? And so what I want you to do is kind of take a look at these images, think about them in context of your readings. Don't do them until you finish all of your readings, all right? You can zoom in, you can zoom out, all right? I want you to kind of look at the whole thing, think about what this means during the time that they made it. We can see this is a page of something, right? So think about it in context of who made it, why they made it, what they would have made it from, what is the housing that the person's inside of, what can this tell us about the culture? What can this tell us about smallpox, right? That's what I want you to be doing for 4 primary sources. Some of them are actually readings, but I usually do about half readings, half visuals. If it's one way or the other, it's usually more visuals because I really like the word visuals. But how you're going to do that is, what you're going to do for points here for this is, here is a lab and media worksheet that you guys are going to, this is not lab media worksheet, this is the lab media worksheet that you are going to fill out, all right? It is worth 32 points altogether, okay? Essentially, it's the same worksheet, copy and pasted multiple times, okay? So it has for every single one of your primary sources, you're going to fill this out. So if we're thinking about our smallpox image, right, you're going to say, what kind of document is this? Is it a newspaper, telegram, map, letter, memorandum, congressional record? Well, I would say that it's a image, and then you could also, and then you were going to want to specify, right? It's like an image from a book. It looked like it was made from color. It was watercolor. There we go. All right. For what audience was the document written? Well, I'm assuming that this was not actually written for the native group of people whom are depicted inside of the image, because that is not a colonist's homestead, right? That's a Native American's homestead, right? And so you could specify that you think that the audience is probably for colonists, or it's to go back to wherever, England, for information dissemination, right? And then kind of explain your justification. Okay, so these should all be in kind of written sentence form. Your personal expressions, what did you find interesting or important about the document in general? And then what particular section did you find particularly meaningful or surprising? You need to explain both of these for 3 and 4, why for both of these. And then for me and grading, number 5 is going to be the most important part of your response, because, and it is worth 3 points, and because I want you to be making connections, and I want you to write at least 5 sentences. I want you to have at least a quote or a piece of information from your textbook, from Fabric of a Nation. This says America Narrative History, because these actually sources are from their online, from Norton's online page, but use your information from a Fabric of a Nation. Don't use American Narrative History because you don't have that textbook. So I want you to write in at least 5 sentences how we can connect this and what we know about the time period, etc., right? And so like make sure you're writing a full paragraph, okay? And you're going to be doing that for all 4 of the documents that are on that page, all right? So this is document number 1, document number 2, document number 3, document number 4. And when you're doing them, make sure you are explaining to me which one it is, because I do not have, um, you need to be putting a document title for these, all right? Because I will not know which one you are talking about unless you put the document title on the header of these, all right? So make sure you do that. Then once you're done filling out the sheet, save it with your last name and the date. Put like module 1 in there if you want to. And then I want you to go ahead and submit it. Okay, so how to submit it is you're going to click on your actual assignment. It gives you a little bit more information. Here's all the same things that you had access to before, all right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to submit the Word file, all right? Do not submit it as a text submission unless I send you a message saying that I cannot access your file, all right? And if I cannot access your file and I send you a message, get it to me ASAP, all right? Because otherwise I cannot do your grading, all right? And so make sure that you click Browse My Computer, and then you're going to find your file folder, and you're going to pick, like here will be my Lab and Media Worksheet. I'm going to click my Lab and Media Worksheet, and then that's all I had to do, right? And then click Submit, okay? So I've now submitted my Lab and Media Worksheet. And what is going to happen is it's going to tell me that I have an attempt, how many points it's worth, and it's going to show me what it looks like inside of here once the assignment is converted into this kind of like viewer program. All right, so that's how you're going to submit assignments. Okay, so this is just kind of a brief walkthrough. This is just kind of a brief walkthrough of your course modules. You have 8 of them throughout this semester. Make sure you're getting all of your work submitted by Friday, every Friday by midnight, okay? After 11:59 p.m., your work will be counted as late, and I do not take late work, all right? So make sure that you get it in, okay? With the exception of Module 8, which is due on a Thursday, okay? So I hope that this overview of how the kind of modules are set up, how you should be working inside of your folders, was really helpful for you guys. I'm going to have a discussion board forum open for about your module. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them up there, and classmates can respond to each other's questions. You don't have to wait for me. So anyway, so good luck, guys. And I know that you guys are going to do great on these, and all these assignments are pretty self-explanatory and are kind of like linear in progress. So I think that you guys should be able to really do a really great job on these. But like I said, contact me if you guys need any help, and I'm always here for you.